Cool, good evening. Hello, hello, hello. This will be Redemptor Chassis number 6 that I'll be working on. I got 3 finished, and I got 3... Well, I guess this one's just started. But good evening. Hello, Miles. Using dreads is cheating. I might drop a couple of dreads for our next game, Miles. We'll see. Yeah, I guess Ultramarines are good against Gene Stealer cults, huh? I think Ultramarines are just good in general at the moment. 2+1 to Oath at the moment. Seems very good. Oh, Chase is away to the Bristol GT. Good luck, dude. You taking Blood Angels? You taking something else? I keep hearing that Blood Angels are going to get buffs or something. Like, it's been hot topic at the moment that we're going to get some buffs in the balanced data slate, but I'm sort of reserving judgment to see because the last 2 balanced data slates have been pretty underwhelming for Blood Angels. This is a Gravis Captain with the heavy bolt rifle. You know that, Miles, I actually think I'm not going to... As much as this guy is cool that he's got an assault bolt rifle, I actually don't think I'm going to run him in my list. I'm going to run the regular Gravis Captain that gets the power fist and the extra melee attacks. I think that would actually be better. I think it just gives him, like, he gets the same number of attacks with the power fist, but then you can also have 1 more attack, or I think it's 2 more attacks with a power sword. He does the same thing. So he loses 3 damage bolt rifle, which I actually think did nothing in our game. Maybe it killed like a cultist, but you would get like way more power fist attacks, and you would also get more power sword attacks. So I think that's how I should run the Gravis Captain. But I've had this model. Do you know what? I've had this model since my old house. So this model is like, do you know what, right before the stream, I was actually using, you know these things? Spray dusters. I was actually spraying the dust off the top of the model. A little bit embarrassing, that's how long he's been sat. He's been in a drawer as well, so I don't know how he's so dusty, having been in a drawer, but somehow he managed to be super dusty. So I was just getting some dust off him before the stream. Yeah, my pile of shame grows forever bigger. Do you think they buff individual Blood Angels units or the detachments? Well, they haven't done anything to the detachments, I think, since the Codex came out. Right, like, the Death Company detachment, which is garbage, has had no buffs. The Angelic Host detachment, which has very, very few people playing it, has had no buffs. So I would say they're more likely to... I think they're more likely to just drop the points of a few units. Like... It'll probably be Death Company with jump packs. They'll probably drop them like 20 points. The Death Company captains, doesn't really matter if they drop them. Those guys seem completely irrelevant. The Death Company Dreadnought, I don't think they're going to drop it below the Brutalis Dreadnought, so I think the Brutalis Dreadnought's just going to continue to be a better choice. I don't know. I don't know. I'm the last balanced data slate didn't fill me with confidence. Hello HMS Hammer, how are you doing tonight? Taking flesh tears and angelic inheritors. Well, cool, good luck with that. Are you okay that you don't have a flesh tears character these days, or does that still upset you? I think I'm going to just cloak red. Maybe I'll slap a coat of red on his cloak. But yeah, do you know, Miles, after our game, I can't decide if I like Redemptor Dreadnoughts. They're so expensive. How are you getting on, love?
Fine. Can you just When you get the chance, can you just check that? So that I can say that I have checked.
No, but I can just go and I can give me a minute and I'll do that.
Okay.
No, you're fine. Yeah, you can get 3 Ballistus Dreadnoughts for the 2 Redemptors. Yeah, I feel like I like the versatility of the Redemptor, right? Like the fact that it can actually kill some stuff in melee. Because when Ballistus is getting melee, they end up just getting like tied up and not doing anything. So I do like the Redemptor's versatility. I think the Redemptor's also a lot better when you give it +1 to all its shooting for most of the moment. So no, I kind of like the Redemptor, I just don't know if I like the points cost on it. Its points cost is a bit bonkers, isn't it? I mean, I guess its points cost is why nobody actually runs Redemptor Dreadnoughts and Blood Angels this edition, because quite a lot of people ran, or at least I felt like a bunch of people ran Redemptor Dreadnoughts for Blood Angels last edition, right? Like, that was a thing. I ran Redemptor Dreadnoughts to multiple tournaments last edition. I'll check it as soon as I've done this bit of red look.
Okay. So, I'm not rushing you, I'm just thinking what I'm doing with myself after I ask some question.
Do you want to paint a model for me?
No.
You sure?
Yeah. Do you want it done right, or do you want me to do it?
Well, you could do base coats. I mean, you can't really go wrong with base coats.
Well, I suppose I could help you.
One day I am going to get the kids to help me to do Warhammer models, and then everything.
Like when they're old enough that will actually do what you tell
Yeah.
them. Or like when they're 25.
No, when they're like 10 or something, they can do base coats for me. Roddy says hello from New Orleans. I thought you weren't a fan of Redemptors. Dude, I've got 3 fully painted Redemptors, but I mean, I ran them a lot in 9th edition. I don't know why I've got 3 fully painted ones. I think I just liked them in 9th edition. They were just good in 9th edition. What was different? I think you could give them an invulnerable save in 9th edition. I think that's why they were good. Right? There was something else that made them good in 9th. Oh yeah, because their plasma cannon killed everything in 9th. Because it was strength 9 or something, and strength 9 in 9th edition was actually really good because most spearcoats were like T8. So it was a really good way to get like flat damage out from Space Marines in the shooting phase. Hello Tom, hello Antonius. I like the flat 3 damage to Redemptors. Yeah, and they used to have D6+1 in melee last edition as well, which was crazy good. I think well, maybe it wasn't D6+1, maybe it was just D6, but I feel like it was good last edition. I think their melee was much better last edition as well. So they had a better plasma and a better melee, and they were like, typically last edition, I think I remember them being 185 points. I think I ran them to a tournament one time when they were maybe like 175, and then they went up to 185, but I think at 185 they're still totally fine. What are they at the moment? 205 or something? It's rough. I feel like it's really rough. Alright, hold on. I've got to do a quick thing for my wife. It'll take a minute, and then I'll answer some questions. No one cares about the dwarfs, right? So I'll just
Yeah, literally.
yeah.
There's like one person that said...
They still like the dwarves.
Oh, I don't know if it's a joke or not.
It's probably a joke.
Or like, can you reduce them instead of making them as well?
What do you think of... Yeah. Tom says, what do you think of MSU units and lag? Because I'm thinking of running 3 Sangre Guard with leaders. I think MSU units is the best way to run lag at the moment. Because your units don't really have durability, right? Yeah, I mean, I can just take all these down, I guess. I'll take like a third off all of them.
Okay.
Anything that spawns in like those main areas they're farming, I'll just take down.
Is that the despawn?
The despawner removes other stuff, like the default stuff. But I'm convinced... Yeah, I mean, I'm convinced this is probably contributing to it. Well... Yeah. I mean, we might get a complaint now that they're missing dwarves, but they are... That's their massive overboost.
And now they want an extra dwarf slot.
I think every single time we run it, they want an extra, so I don't. The end says, do you think they'll make Terminators viable when they release Blood Angels? Assault Terminators upgrade sprue like they did for Dark Angels. I'm not convinced. I think Assault Terminators might not get good till next edition. I think they've had 2 years to fix them, right? Because they were literally in the vanilla codex. They haven't done anything with them, so why would they fix them in year 3 if they've left them broken for 2 years? Okay, Dwarves Velocity.
Did you do it to everyone?
Well, everyone that spawns in all the busy areas that they'll be farming, yes.
Reduce the spawn stuff.
Well, in some cases, more than half actually, because it was like 210, and I just made it like 100.
Okay.
Yeah, Iron Storm. And the weird enhancement thing. And that's the wrong red paint. Iron Storm and the weird enhancement that Iron Storm were using was the reason that Redemptors were so expensive. But the Iron Storm enhancement's been nerfed, I think. So I don't really know why Redemptors are still so expensive. They've just been left, I guess. What was my thoughts on the Hellblasters from the last game? I thought the Hellblasters were amazing, dude. In the Stormlance detachment, you can give them... Like, I hate plasmas, typically. But in the Stormlance detachment, you can give them sustained every time they shoot. You can do it a bunch of... you can get +1 to wound. You can shoot on death. You can move if the enemy comes close. I think Hellblasters and Stormlance is actually really, really good. I mean, honestly, if you've been watching my channel, you've probably never heard me say I think plasmas is really, really good, because I don't like plasma guns. I just don't like taking hazardous rolls. This is the first time actually that like hazardous rolls have benefited me as well, right? Like when the guy died from the hazardous roll, I then got to shoot an extra time and managed to blow up his vehicle, which would have been left alive. So it was like the guy dying actually benefited me. It stopped him having any more las cannons in his turn. Hey! That's how we like to start the stream. Rexar coming in with a $5 super chat. Oh, it's a 1,000-point list. Rexar 2. A chaplain, 5 intercessors, 5 jump intercessors, 10 Death Company on foot, 1 Death Company dreadnought, 1 Storm Raven, 1 Ball Predator. It doesn't sound very competitive. because Death Company. One chaplain for 2 Death Company. It's maybe not the worst. The Stormraven has 0 OC though, so I have a problem with that. What are you thinking, Rexar? Is this just for fun, or is this a serious competitive list? Have I ever considered getting into 30k? Blood Angels have some awesome rules that really fit the lore. I'm actually more likely to, like, if I'm doing anything, I'm going to buy characters for other Space Marine chapters in 40k. You got something to say before you leave, love, or are you okay now?
Well, just rewrite what you said.
Okay.
You said I didn't know if an extra day was on the cards or not.
Okay, good.
I liked it.
Okay. Well, you helped as much as you could, I guess.
No, there's only so much.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it'll be better now. Let's see.
Just really need to look at the whole thing, rework it if it's this much of a problem every single time.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I'll see you in a couple hours, love.
I have awoken.
It's aircraft don't get their OC back in hover mode. Yeah, I guess that's just the way the aircraft work. Oh my goodness, who's coming in with Aradine, 10 gifted memberships. Dude, thanks so much. I'm gonna open the window. It's been a hot minute since we've had 10 gifted memberships. Thank you very, very much, dude. That's very generous. How are you, Aradine?
I have awoken.
You got a question, or are you just happy to see me? I'll take either, honestly. Thank you very much for the gifted memberships.
I have awoken.
I think that there will be a new. Get back. Like, there's 3 questions coming in here. I guess let me answer the question about Terminators real quick, and then let's get Rexar's 1,000-point list looked at. I think my opinion on Terminators is there will be a new Assault Terminator sculpt, and that's when the Terminators will get better rules, right? Because they want to sell the new Terminator Assault sculpt. I think. Is that going to be this edition or next edition? I have no idea. I don't really do the rumor content. I don't know if I even really follow the rumor content because there's so much of it, and I don't really know what's happening. Like, if I get a leak from the Blood Angels Codex, or like a leak of a whole codex, sure, I'll cover it. But like I watched a 17-minute video from Auspex Tactics the other day. You know, Auspex Tactics is a massive, successful channel, sure, but I watched a 17-minute video, and the gist of the video was Blood Angels are maybe getting a buff. And I was like, alright, yeah, you know, you could have told me that in like 2 seconds. I don't know if I needed to watch a 17-minute video to find out that, like, we are maybe getting a buff. I could have told, you know, I think we'll maybe get a buff. We're not in a great spot, are we? But no, Aradine, thank you so much. Not even a question. 10 gifted memberships from a very generous place in your heart. I appreciate it, dude. Thank you. That means a lot. Thanks. I'm glad you guys still show up every week. I appreciate it. Yeah, so here's Stormraven in a 1,000-point game. That's a lot of points that doesn't give you any OC. And then you've got 2 more big units, the 10 Death Company on foot, the Death Company Dreadnought. If I kill your chaplain in that 1,000-point list, you suddenly have, what, 2 units that have OC, 3 maybe? The 5 Jump Intercessors, which really don't have much staying power, 5 Intercessors, which don't have much staying power, and then your Baal Predator. I probably wouldn't recommend going with you know, like over 500 points that have basically potentially 0 OC. Like, if I'm playing you in that 1,000-point list, I just got to precision your chaplain out straight away, and then you've got some serious problems. If the plane lives, you can unload everything and start charging. Yeah, I mean, if the plane lives. That's a lot of eggs in one basket. That is literally the perfect definition of all your eggs in one basket. Yeah, it's risky. Yeah, you run all over some people, and then in other armies that can blow up your plane, you have serious problems. So sometimes knowing your biggest weakness can be enough. So maybe if you're aware of that. This guy's got a weird helmet. I have no idea. Let me see. I don't think I turned my autofocus on. Hold on. Continuous autofocus. Dim. Yeah, I don't know what the hell this guy's helmet is. I think it must be a 3D print. Like, it doesn't look like a Space Marine helmet. I made this guy ages ago. Yeah, I mean, it must be some sort of 3D print. It looks more like a Predator mask or something. Now that I've got it, I'm not sure I even like it, but oh well. It's done. Sometimes I do like to customize helmets, I guess. Hello, Marius. Good evening. How often do people use snipers? They want you to use any character that runs into combat with your chaplain squad. 1 CP. They do an epic challenge which gives their character precision, and they'll just precision out your leader. I think this is one of the reasons that we don't see anyone play that Death Company detachment, because like if you were playing a smart enemy that had 2 or 3 strong units or 2 or 3 strong characters, they just precision out a couple of the chaplains, and all of a sudden your list can't score any points anymore, right? Yeah, not many people do use snipers. I think it's much more likely you end up in combat with like a Demon Prince. The Demon Prince gets a boatload of attacks. He gets like flat 3 damage, potentially even damage 4, I think, these days on like a Khorne Demon Prince. And he just goes, yeah, 1 CP, I'll just instantly precision out your character, and then you've got a huge problem with scoring. Yeah, I mean, if I was going to run 1,000 points, I don't necessarily think a transport is the worst idea. Like, a transport is an okay idea. You can probably run a transport. I just don't know if I think that, like, people don't... Swap the Death... Like, if you've got the model for the Death Company Dreadnought, just run it as a Brutalis Dreadnought. You'll save yourself 20 points, and honestly, the Brutalis is better. The Brutalis deals mortals most of the time when it charges, and it's got like OC4. I literally ran a Brutalis in my army this week. It's fine. It's definitely, like, I think it's definitely better than the Death Company Dreadnought. Like, I'm quite happy to run a Brutalis. I am not happy to run a Death Company Dreadnought, regardless if I've got chaplains or not. The Stormlance attachment is good for Storm Ravens. I played it this week as well. If there's no changes to Stormlance, there's a very good chance I'm going to play Stormlance to the tournament that I'm going to in like 9 weeks' time. I had a lot of fun playing Stormlance this week on stream. It's completely different to what I've been used to playing with Blood Angels, and sometimes completely different is just good because it's a bit of a change. Aradine's been catching up on the YouTube news. Is there anything exciting in the YouTube news? I mean, there's supposed to be a balanced data slate. People thought it might be this week. I think it's supposed to be maybe next week. Thousand Suns are getting their codex. That's news, I suppose. I think Knights are getting their codex too as well pretty soon. That's news. There's new mission cards. I don't know if you've pre-ordered them, but there's new mission cards coming out next Saturday. That's the other big news, I guess. I'm looking forward to the new missions, I think. Apparently, I haven't read too deeply into the new missions, but apparently fixed missions are looking very attractive. So I guess that's potential news, or that's potentially something new as well. Catching up on Horus Heresy 3.0. Nice, yeah, I mean, I actually really like the look of those new Dreadnoughts. And the Terminators. Like, I kind of want to get some of those characters just to proxy them as 40k. I think I decided today that I'm going to basically, probably sell the Eldar army, or trade the Eldar army that I got at Christmas. I've had it for 6 months. Like, today was basically like, I've had that army for 6 months. Have I done anything with it? No. I've bought the codex, I've bought a couple of models, I've done nothing with it. I think I should just trade it for more marine stuff. and/or Marines of other chapters. So like I could just pivot and just play all the Marines. I think that's what I want to do. So I bought the Elder Army and with good intentions. But I think I'm gonna try and move it on. I mean, last edition I bought Helbreck and Grimaldus. You know, so I have a bit of options there to play Black Templars. I obviously have my Guilliman Dreadnought. I don't know if I care about Lion, but I mean, I'm kind of half hoping that we get... You remember the Arcs of Omen season we had at the end of last edition, where everything was a bit crazy and you could include Primarchs with anything, like Blood Angels were allowed to field Guilliman and stuff like that. I'm kind of hoping that we get a bit of a crazy season at the end of this season, this edition of 40k as well, honestly. I thought that was quite fun at the end of last edition. Votan for any Imperials. You think that would happen? You think Imperials would get to do Votan? Another silly Stormlance idea is 3 drop pods with Blade Guard and a turn 1 reserved Outriders with Chaplains and ATVs. I mean, I think Stormlance Detachment is good, man. But I don't think you need to go like quirky, crazy. Like, have you thought about Hellblasters inside the Stormraven? Because Hellblasters, I used Hellblasters inside the Stormraven and they can all get Assault. Sorry, they already have Assault. So because they already have Assault, they're able to get Sustained. And I think Hellblasters with a Sustained is pretty darn interesting. That's a lot of Strength 8 Plasma. A lot of 2 damage. Use them on the Oath target. Can be pretty devastating, I feel like. Yeah, at the end of 9th edition, they just like flat out said if you want to include Primarch in your Blood Angels force, it was fine. So I ran a force towards the end of 9th edition where I had just basically a Blood Angels list, but with Guilliman leading it as like the Warlord. Obviously, if Guilliman's in the list, he needs to be the Warlord. But he was in the list. In last edition, Guilliman had a 12-inch aura of +1 to charge. Maybe it was advanced and charge, I don't remember. But he had a +1 within 12 to charge, and you had a reroll hits of 1 within 12 as well. So what you were able to do last edition with it, where you were able to put Guilliman somewhere near your Blood Angels, and because your Blood Angels last edition got +1 to charge, then you could stack that with Guilliman's +1 to charge. So you had +2 to all your charges, which was actually really good. Because the amount of times, like, so if you rolled a Snake Eyes on your charge, you could still make a 5-inch charge. Like, it was pretty crazy. So I took that Guilliman list to tournament last edition. I actually had a lot of fun with it. If it wasn't for fucking Miles, I might have done pretty well with that tournament list. Evening Pound, how you doing? I got my revenge on Miles this week though, right? And it was, you know, it's almost poetic that I had Guilliman in the list, because Miles wrecked me at that tournament when I had Guilliman in my list. Bloody Eldar, D-cannons. God. I'll have nightmares about D-cannons because of Miles. I've recommended Hellblasters with an Apothecary. I think in Stormlance, Hellblasters with a Librarian is pretty good as well. There is also an enhancement in Stormlance that gives you fallback and shoot. So you can pretty much attach any character you want to those Hellblasters, and then you also have fall back and shoot, which I think is very good. On 10 guys with a crap load of plasma guns, I guess. I doubt they're going to do anything crazy. No, they're definitely going to do something crazy, man. Surely. '11th is going to build. You think? You don't think we're going to get anything crazy? I thought we would be getting something crazy for sure. I don't know why I thought that. I just thought we would. I'm ready for some crazy though, right? Like 2 whole years of trying to play Blood Angels at the absolute highest level, week in, week out. Like, a little bit crazy sounds a little bit fun for a little bit of a, I definitely, like, I think a lot of people will get bored at the end of the edition. Maybe it's people like me that just have one army. At the end of the edition, they're like, I already played my army quite a lot, so they try and do something a bit crazy. I mean, wasn't it, like, didn't that Wandering Hero rule appear at the end of one of the editions? You know? I came here from Wargame Lives, was watching Lag lose against Invasion Fleet. Hello, Pound, how you doing? John, Miles says, beating up on innocent mining workers doesn't count as revenge. Felt like revenge, Miles. Innocent mining workers. Those poor gene stealers. I actually, like, I liked your army, but yeah, I think it would be, I guess, are Knights like a stat check army for GSC as well, a little bit? Because I feel like Knights at the moment are a bit of a stat check army for Blood Angels. When was the last time Blood Angels are the top tier winning percentage, says Wolfden. I don't know, Wolfden. There was like a hot take in the video I put out yesterday blaming me for Bloodless Angels. Some guy was like, what did he say? It was something like, you and everybody else crying about Bloodless Angels has got them nerfed. And I was like, dude, I think that the reason Bloodless Angels got nerfed was because a bunch of people like Innes Wilson, or, you know, top level players like that, were taking Bloodless Angels to tournaments and they were beating everybody with Bloodless Angels. If Bloodless Angels was intended, they would have left it, right? Like, they wouldn't have nerfed it because the top players were using it. At least that's my hot take on that, right? Like, if Games Workshop thought Bloodless Angels was fine, why would they remove it? The top players were winning events with it. Hello, Master of Dolphin. Nice to see you. This is a Redemptor Dreadnought with like all the Crimson Lord bits stacked onto it, I guess. No, not Redemptor Dreadnought, sorry, a Brutalis Dreadnought. It's my first Brutalis Dreadnought. I've got 2 of them, but the other one's still on sprue. Hello Phil, good evening. Well, I guess I'm here for it, Andonius. If there's some batshit crazy stuff to have fun with for the last 6 months of the edition, I'm here for it. What have you any thoughts about the Blood Angels buffs on the data slate? I think we might get a points drop on like 2 units or something. I think we might see a point drop on like Death Company with jump packs. I think maybe optimistically, I was hoping for another point drop on Sangre Guard, like 5 more points or something. Here's the thing, right? We know that Games Workshop charge like a premium, like a crazy premium on a 12-inch move. But I don't know if I necessarily agree with the crazy premium on the 12-inch move, because like if you look at the Death Shroud Terminators, for example, right? Like the new Death Shroud Terminators in the Death Guard Codex, they can basically almost guarantee a 6-inch charge. So like the fact that they move a little bit slower is irrelevant because they're just like, well, we'll just deep strike in 6 inches away. If you need to make a 6-inch charge and you have a CP for a reroll, that is a 90% charge chance. So like you're basically saying, if you go to a GT and every single turn in the GT you reserved, like you had every game you had 2 squads of Death Shroud in reserve. Right, let's just say you did that. 2 squads of Death Shroud in reserve every game. If you're not familiar with the Death Shroud rules at the moment, they are kind of bonkers. They get 4 wounds per model. I think they're toughness 7. I think they are strength 8 minus 2 lethal hits. So they get the same number of attacks as Sangre Guard, but they get lethals built in. They're also hitting with 2 more strength. They also have 2 more wounds. They're also going to be fighting the enemy who's in contagion range. The enemy is going to be -1 toughness as well. Just remember that. That can be meaningful too. They also get like a sweep profile, so they don't have to necessarily do the 2 damage strikes. They can do sweeps as well. I think there's something else they're getting as well, right? Like, and they're 10 points more expensive than Sangre Guard, and it's like, okay, so they've got 3 more toughness, they've got 1 more wound. Oh, they've got better ballistic skill. They got ballistic skill 2 up. Weapon skill 2 up, sorry. So better weapon skill, better toughness, better weapon, better strength, more wounds. And then here's the thing, right? Like, we pay this premium tax on movement, but it doesn't even, the movement is kind of irrelevant if you're just going to deep strike the Death Shroud Terminator 6 inches away and then make your 90% charge chance, right? So, yeah, I mean, like, part of me feels like Sangre Guard, based on the strength of Death Guard, Sangre Guard should be cheaper. They shouldn't be 10, that isn't 10 points between those 2 squads. In my opinion, my opinion is my opinion. It can be completely wrong, but I'm just telling you what I see, right? Not sure what you plan on doing with left shoulder on the Dread. The left shoulder. I don't know why are you asking about the left shoulder? What am I doing with it? The You're talking about this thing? Or this bit up here? Or these things? Give Dante CP regeneration like the rest of the damn chapter masters. Yeah, so I mean that was something that do Infiltrator's 12-ounce deep strike denial still work against Death Shroud? Yes, it does. Thank goodness. I mean, Infiltrators will be worth their weight in gold, but yeah, Death Shroud are bonkers powerful right now. You know, it was very sweet finishing above Colin in that tournament, because Colin was going on, like, you guys don't see how much, like, Colin's talking all this mad smack. We've got like a private Discord channel. And he's talking and talking and talking, like, oh, Death Guard are this, Death Guard that, Death Guard are amazing. And then when it comes to the tournament, I finished 1 place above him. Even though I didn't do so well in the tournament, just finishing above Colin just felt like very, very, made me very happy. How about that? That's a good way of just putting it. It made me happy to finish above him when he'd been talking. He'd been talking so much about Death Guard being so amazing. Yeah, so I played Ultramarines this week, or Stormlance Ultramarines, and it really sort of hit home to me how many CP those other chapters have. You know, because Gilliman basically gives you 10 extra CP in a game, right? Like once per game, once per turn, not battle round, once per turn, you can use this CP thing within 12 inches of him. So Gilliman just being in your list, that's essentially 10 extra CP. Like, I was just blown away. I was like, oh my god, like I just got so many CP. I couldn't believe it. It was like, you know, Blood Angels, we feel CP starved. Ultramarines, it was just like, I've got you know, I've got more CP here than I even really know what to do with. It was crazy. If they took away Dante's Battle Shock aura, which, let's face it, is completely garbage. Like the tournament I was just at, 2 times in that tournament I charged an enemy with Dante and his Sanguinary Guard, and I was like, if they fail their Battle Shock here, I will be able to kill them. If they do not fail their Battle Shock at -1, because it's Dante, they'll use a stratagem and I will not kill them. And both times, guess what? They both passed their Battle Shock and I didn't kill the unit. And then Dante and his squad basically got killed in the return combat or whatever. And I was just like, you just can't rely on it. Like, when you need it, it doesn't go off. And I mean, I needed it twice in that tournament. One of those games I lost, one of those games I actually won, but still. I recall Vanguard veterans getting nerfed when the Blood Angels Codex dropped. Is it worth to run big blocks of 10 with chaplains and all infernal pistols? I mean, it could be. I guess nobody's doing it. Vanguard veterans, toughness 4, 2 wounds, infernal pistols, heirloom weapons. I mean, I think you'd probably be better off just continuing to run Jump Assault Intercessors and use the Mortal Wounds from the Jump Assault Intercessors, honestly. Have I seen the AK play markers? They are amazing. Just bought the entire set, says Matthew. Evening, Matthew. What is an AK play marker? What's the website? I'm not familiar with it. I would like it more if Dante's ability would be a Vect Aura instead of the Battle Shock one. Do you know what? A Vect Aura would be better. For anyone that's not familiar with Vect, it just means increase the CP usage by like 1. Because yeah, the Battle Shock is completely unreliable. So just like a Vect Aura would be much better, where it's just like if you use a stratagem within 12 inches of Dante, it costs you 1 extra CP. That would be so much better. It would just make opponents think twice, probably, because nobody thinks twice about Dante's Battle Shock. It goes off, like I just was at a whole tournament, it didn't go off 1 time. Or maybe it went off 1 time on like a friggin' Fire Prism or something, and I was like, oh cool, the Fire Prism's Battle Shock. He wasn't paying any strats on that anyway, you know? Hello Alex, hello Boris, good evening guys. Stabby McStabwood says, I just got back into 40k and started Blood Angels, and the more math I do, the worse Blood Angel specific units seem to be. Yeah, I think it's general. I think it's the general consensus right now. Stabby McStabbywood, or Stabby. It's Stabby McStabwood. Sorry, I put an extra Y into your second name. I'm very sorry about that. Stabby McStabwood. Okay, I'll get that right next time, promise. I think the general consensus that the Blood Angels units are a little bit probably overcosted for what they do. Most of the time you can take the generic unit out the Space Marine Codex and do just as well, if not better. That, you know, I feel like Blood Angels are like every edition this happens, where like Blood Angels, either every unit is really good and you want to field all of them all of the time, or the units really struggle and you don't want to field any of them. Like that's been going on now. Like I feel like Sanguinary Guard have not been, like Games Workshop have not been able to balance the Sanguinary Guard for like 4 or 5 years. Like if we go back last edition, it was either you take 30 Sanguinary Guard or you take no Sanguinary Guard, or you take the 3 squads of 7 Sanguinary Guard or you take no Sanguinary Guard. Like it just seems to yo-yo between the two, and they can never quite get that balance right. Jason, good evening. He says smash the like button. Yeah, thanks Jason. You're always reminding everyone to like the stream. I appreciate it. I always sort of sometimes forget to do that YouTube algorithm nonsense. Yeah. So in the moment it might not look like I'm doing a whole lot, but I am painting over a Mephiston red spray with Evil Sun Scarlet. Woo! What a fun job this is. But it needs done. I don't mind it. Sometimes I like to do easy paint things when I'm on stream because it means I can chat to you guys a little bit more. Markers with acrylic paint, the fine tip brushes. Oh, I saw those. Someone was banging on about those. They're like fine tip brushes for edge highlighting, and you can also use them to write on purity seals, right, Matthew? I really, Phil, I don't know if you were there on Wednesday night, Phil, weren't you? Because you gave me like some gifted memberships, I think, on Wednesday. I appreciate that, by the way, Phil. Sometimes in the middle of the battle report, I sometimes forget to thank people, but I really liked Stormlance this week. Like, I could not believe how good they were. Kevin says, I just got smoked last night with the 3x6 Blade Guard list people are running. My impulsors got cooked turn 1, and then I was useless getting up the board. Here's hoping for the balanced data slate. So your opponent was playing Blood Angels and they ran 3 units of 6 Blade Guard? Or your opponent was playing a different chapter, Kevin? There is definitely something to be said about, at the moment, it's possibly better to... I wouldn't even say it's possibly better, I would say it's probably better to run 18 Blade Guard than it is to run anywhere close to that number of Sangre Guard. The other cool thing with Blade Guard is they can attach to Chaplains and Judiciars, which are both very good for Blade Guard in Liberator Assault Group, right? We gotta get more people in here, Jason. I'm trying. I'm here every week. You know I'm here every week. I'm trying to build the biggest Blood Angels channel. I'm trying. I appreciate your support, Jason. I really do. Thank you. You'll be happy to know that I'm going to sell my Elder army, or I'm going to try and trade it for more Marines. I've had it for 6 months. I've done nothing with it. Tony was a bit aghast. I did this same thing with this. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that Star Wars Unlimited card game, but like I like Star Wars. I haven't played like Magic the Gathering in years, so like I bought a bunch of cards for Star Wars Unlimited, and I'm like, cool, it's a fun game, but like all my hobby time gets spent on Blood Angels or Warhammer 40,000. So I'm like, as much as I want to have other games, so stupid, like. I need to just learn to stop buying other games. I have actually sold a bunch of games on eBay. Because I'm just like, stop buying other games, stop buying Kickstarter things, because you never get time for them. You just do Blood Angels. He was another chapter. I was the one that got cooked with the Blade Guard. Oh, the point was that my Blade Guard became useless when both my impulsors were blown up turn 1? I mean... I was going to say, I mean, I feel like you probably have to obscure those impulsors, right? Like, that wasn't an option? Yeah, I mean, if I get the money that I spent back on the Eldar, like if I just break even, I'll be happy, right? And I think I got a good deal on it, so I think it's unlikely that I can't just break even. So I just break even. If someone wants to trade for it, great. If they can trade me Marines for it, even better. I'll take Marines of like any chapter and any paint job, probably, honestly. But yeah, I thought at the time it seemed like too good a deal to pass up the Eldar, but I'm like, maybe it was just I made that one Eldar model and I really didn't enjoy making it. That new Phoenix Lord, like he was just an absolute nightmare to put together. Maybe that just put me off of it or something. But then I've played Eldar in this tournament and I know they've got a crazy high win rate, but I'm just not feeling it. I mean, I had an Eldar army before as well, like 2nd or 3rd edition. I had an Eldar force with like an avatar and all that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just not feeling the Eldar. I think I'd rather field, like, if I'm gonna field something different, I want to field Rabuti. Like, I'd rather be fielding Marines, I think, than fielding Xenos. Yeah, Marius, you want this Eldar army? It's like 5,700 points. It's yours if you do a giant commission for me. You gotta do a whole legion. I know how much you paint. You can probably manage that. Do Brutalis' Dreadnought last long enough to get into combat? Well, I put mine inside a Storm Raven, and that seemed to help quite a lot. If you are reserving them, yeah, I mean, if you're just running across the table like a headless chicken, I don't know how effective they will be to get into combat. Yes, not sure about that. Here's hoping the channel grows enough so it can do this full time. You know what, a few people have said that they want my channel to grow to full time. I would be worried that this would feel like a job if I had to do it full time, right? Like, right now it is my hobby. I love it, and it definitely does not feel like a job. Like, you know, that might not even be true at the moment, right? Like, sometimes there definitely is some weeks, and I think there's been worse this edition, right? Because I think we can agree that, like, if you look at the Blood Angels Codex, right? Where is it? Like, if we look at the Blood Angels Codex, we already know that 2 of the detachments are dog shit, right? Like, the Lost Brethren is dog shit. Angelic Host is dog shit, right? So, like, I don't even know if there's any videos I could make on those that would get a lot of views or would get people excited. If we look at, like, the actual units, right? The Blood Angels captain is a Space Marine captain, so there's not much to say there. Both Death Company captains make no sense. The Sangre Priest is overcosted. The Sangre Guard are, you know, like, cool. I've probably made like 4 videos on Sangre Guard. Death Company Marines on bolt rifles, yeah, so, you know, I haven't made a video on Death Company Marines on bolt rifles because literally nobody plays Death Company Marines with bolt rifles. I haven't made a video on Death Company Marines on foot because, yeah, like 2% of Blood Angels players play Death Company Marines on foot. Death Company jump packs, I've made a couple of videos saying they're not good. The Death Company Dreadnought, nobody plays the Death Company Dreadnought. The Ball Predator, I'm sure I've made a video or 2 on the Ball Predator. But what you're saying is, like, this edition has been difficult for me because when you look at the codex, I've got 3 or, like, that was 3 units. Like, there's 3 whole units in this codex that I can really make content on. So I've struggled a little bit. Did anyone find the Blood Angels captain small looking? I don't think so. I've got them. I've got the one from the Combat Patrol. Is that who we were talking about? Yeah, well, I got an entire painted Eldar army, and I just they're not. I think I got them very excited, and I just realised that I don't have time for them. So yeah, maybe if I can trade them for other Marines, I will do that, I think. Aradine, you have a good evening. Thanks so much for hanging out, I appreciate it. I hope your date goes well. You deserve some good karma from all those the gifted subs. I appreciate it. Yeah, I like the new captain. But I mean, like, in terms of rules, I guess. Like, the new model was cool enough, but in terms of rules, it's like, oh, right, now you can have an infernal pistol rather than a plasma pistol. He is essentially a Space Marine captain, though, right? Like, there is no other difference. So yeah, it's been a bit of a difficult. Yeah, Blood Angels are just in an awkward. This just hasn't been a good addition for us. I feel like, in terms of having lots of competitive options. I like 40k the most when there's lots of competitive options. Right, like I like it when I can just build. Like, in an ironic way, we maybe had more options when it was just Sons of Sanguinius, because at least then our stratagems were very, very good, and we could kind of just put anything we wanted in the list and just be like, well, we just have very good stratagems, like fight on death anywhere on the board and stuff like that, you know? Justice for the Hounds of Mordecai, yeah. Are they the shortest lived Primaris unit, Cambo? Is there a shorter unit? Like, the Hounds of Mordecai got made legends 4.5 years, or 4.5 years almost to the day. Dude, I think you would have to have 100,000. You know how YouTube sends you that plaque that says, like, it's like a gold plaque that is 100,000 subscribers. I think that's YouTube saying to you, you should, like, if you get that 100,000 subscriber plaque, that is YouTube saying to you, you should try and make this full time. Because I think that's where you would need to be to have an income that is realistically almost a full-time job, right? So I think if I only ever do Blood Angels, I will never get 100,000. But yeah, so at the moment I'm playing Ultramarines anyway. Like, if they don't nerf Ultramarines, there's a very, very good chance I'm going to play Ultramarines to this GT I've got in like 9 weeks' time. It would be ironic just to win a GT or something with Ultramarines and then just be like, yeah, look how easy this is. Look how difficult the, like, not how bad Blood Angels are at the moment, but like how easy it is to do with Ultramarines. I don't know. I still want to see the Mephiston plus 10 Dreadnought list. See, the problem with adding Mephiston to the, like, that's the, like, Oath of Moment is the problem, right? Because, like, let's say I did 10 Dreadnoughts with a lone operative lieutenant. I could get my +1 to Oath of Moment. Or if I did 10 Dreadnoughts with Guilliman, I can get +1 to 2 targets from Oath of Moment. And with Guilliman I can have 10 extra CP as well. You know, so it's like, there's your problem. You add Mephiston to the list, you suddenly lose that +1 to Oath of the Moment. It's actually so big. Like, I didn't, like, in the game that I had this week playing Ultramarines, I barely ever had to target a unit I didn't have Oath of the Moment on. Which just basically meant, like, the whole game, I'm rerolling every hit, and I'm +1 to wound on everything. The game gets a lot easier if you reroll every hit all the time and you have +1 to wound all the time. Like, it's almost borderline ridiculous. Like, my Hurricane Bolters, fucking Hurricane Bolters, were making my opponent take like 13 or 14 saves on toughness 10 enemies. Toughness 10 enemies! Hurricane Bolters are doing 14 successful wounds. I was like, in the Blood Angels attachment, you are lucky if you do 1 with that weight of strength 4 chain swords, honestly. Supposedly buffs are coming for Blood Angels. Hopefully it's datasheet rewrites, because I think points won't cut it. I kind of agree with you, Jim, but historically it seems like points are like the most common thing that they will change, right? I'm afraid they think they will just buff Death Company to be comparable to Sangregard, which will change nothing, says VT. I guess we'll see, right? So I did the exact same thing at the end of last edition. I was upset with the state of the meta. I can't remember which season it was because we had 6 seasons last edition. This edition, at least, we only have 3 editions. Or 3 seasons. I guess if you think that every time the cards, like the Pariah Nexus cards change or something, we only have 3 card changes this edition, whereas last season we had 6. So, I got upset last edition, and last edition I played Black Templars for like a few months, and you know, I guess it did hurt my regular Blood Angels viewership maybe a little bit, but like it is frustrating. I get it. Like you know, if you've only got one army and you play that army all the time, and you keep seeing your army at the bottom of the win rate charts, month after month, week after week, it can be quite frustrating. Especially when another army with just like a couple of characters will suddenly be in a much, much better spot. So yeah, I think going forward, probably my plan is to continue to 100% be Blood Angels, but if there's editions or seasons where things are really, really rough, and I think they are probably the roughest they have been right now, there's a very real chance that I'll just like pick up some other Marine characters and try something wacky. I think that's all. I think that's always going to happen. Like sometimes I just need to be wacky. And sometimes you can win stuff when you're wacky. I think last edition, I was wacky with I put a bunch of Armigers, Warglavies into my Blood Angels list. That was fun as well. I went to a tournament with 3 Warglavies. Or Warglaves, sorry, I don't know why I always call them Glavies. You can give Michael a quick drink, could you? I hear him like coughing over and over and over in his bed.
He's not actually awake.
Oh, he's not? How Oath of Moment works. If you're playing the Blood Angels detachment, or you have Blood Angels characters in your list, you select one target in your command phase, and until your next command phase, you just reroll all your hits against that target from every unit that targets that unit. And you also get to... You can use Oath of Moment in Overwatch as well. So if the unit that you Oath of Momented, you got like really low, and then it tries to move, you can use your Overwatch. You can use your rerolls for Overwatch as well. So if you've got a vehicle with like a lot of guns on it, like a Land Raider, for example, it's got like 4 las cannons and a multi-melta and some bolters, twin-linked heavy bolters. If your target's going to move and he's on like 1 wound, you should probably, and you've got him off the moment, you should probably pay the CP in Overwatch him, right? Because you're fishing for 6s in Overwatch anyway, but you're re-rolling everything because you got off the moment on the target. So Oath of Moments is a very powerful ability. The fact that Ultramarines get to use it twice is crazy. And the fact that Ultramarines also get to use it with +1 to wound is also crazy. Wacky is good for the soul, says Alex. Yeah, exactly. Wacky is good for the soul. We were okay at the end of 9th with Arcs of Omen running, and yeah, when they made, like, do you remember when, I think it was in 9th edition, there was a period where Armour of Contempt was on Space Marine models just all the time. Like, Space Marines just had Armour of Contempt. Do you know what? Bring that back, and I bet you Blood Angels will be good. Yeah, that's the buff we want. Just give all Blood Angel model, like, the Blood Angels detachment You're moving so fast, you have the equivalent of armor of contempt. Because you guys are... Sorry, I'm going to have to go deal with my kid. Give me 1 sec. Yeah, Blood Angels briefly got the wound buff. Would bringing that wound buff back help? I think the problem that the Blood Angel specific units have is they all need +1 to wound, right? Like Sangre Guard have low strength these days, so most of the time they need +1 to wound. Death Company have somewhat low strength, they need +1 to wound. Now, I feel like I think obviously Sangre Guard can't attach to chaplains. Death Company can, but the removal of all the power fists from Death Company mean that they're often underwhelming now. It's a tough one, right? I don't know, like, it'll be great to get some buffs. Hopefully they're well thought out buffs that are going to help us out. Because I think at the moment, if I'm correct, there's 3/4 armies that have really bad win rates, and they are Dark Angels, Black Templars, Blood Angels, and Agents of the Imperium. Those are your like armies with like quite a bit below 45% repeatedly. I feel like I basically wasted money buying the 10th edition rules and hardcover. You mean the codex or the rule book? I usually get the rule book because I usually end up getting like the new army set for each edition, I guess. The rulebook had a huge errata as well. Yeah, I noticed playing Stormlance that I made a mistake on the game against Miles because apparently the Stormlance detachment had an errata, and I was using the codex. Yeah, it's rubbish when you get a codex and the rules in the codex are not right anymore. I think I'd rather just pay. You know, like, I think I'd rather, like, the other thing, I have a problem with codexes in general because I feel like it's a lot of trees that get cut down. Maybe I'm dumb. I don't really know the process behind books and stuff, but I do feel like there's a lot of wastage when it comes to Warhammer books, and I would rather just have it in a digital thing that I can access all the time, right? At least the codex had pictures of Space Marines. I mean, they always have pretty pictures in the codexes, right? They always show you the models that they always show you the paint jobs you'll never be able to achieve. What do you guys think of this? There's apparently a rumor of like Space Marine Codex 2.0. Does anyone believe that? I must have heard Valrak talk about it like 5 times, maybe more. I don't think I believe it. I'm sure there was a Space Marine 2.0 Codex rumored in 9th edition as well, right? And it never came. That was a thing, right? Stormlance is good for Sternguard. You think Stormlance is good? You think it's better for Sternguard than it is for Hellblasters? Nick says, I don't know. I think Blood Angels are strong. I liked having the Blood Assault option, and I pay a lot of Anvil Siege Force, so I'm definitely in minority in both counts. I mean, Nick, I'm glad you think they're strong. Just so you know, when you look at like the meta tracking, we are like crazy low down, like 5 from the bottom or something like that. Nick says, I would love to be not paying for the rules 3 times. Yeah, I think I would rather, like, I kind of don't like humping codexes around with me anymore either. You know, especially when you, like, only need 1 data sheet from the codex, right? Like, the tournament I was just at, the only 2 units that I have that were Blood Angels were Dante and the Sangre Guard. So it's like, I don't really love humping a codex around with me to a tournament when I literally need 2 data sheets from it. I mean, maybe I should just have printed off the data sheets, but, you know, I guess you get my point, right? Yeah, maybe I need my stratagems as well, but yeah. Quick says, I'm waiting for points changes. The World Eaters are so expensive. I think there's some play in that World Eaters book though, Quicks. Like, are you using the Forge Fiends, man? Those things are fucking insane, honestly. Like, I just played in a tournament match against my opponent who had 3 Forge Fiends. Each Forge Fiend had 3 of those plasma cannons on it. And like, dude, those things kill Land Raiders. Like, they are no joke. I've never felt so much shooting from a World Eaters list in my life. Like, I was super lucky to beat that World Eaters list. Like, it came down to literally the final turn, the fight phase. That's what determined the winner. Forge feeds and Hellbrutes are too cheap and the rest is too expensive. That's funny. You know, the list that I played at the tournament, dude, was 3 Forge Fiends, 3 Hellbrutes. Yeah, maybe those are too cheap and everything else is too expensive. I mean, when you put 3 Hellbrutes in and you put 3 Forge Fiends in, then World Eaters are a force to be reckoned with, because like that was a really rough game. It just feels like those units are so deadly for the points you've spent on them. Yeah, it feels like every edition or every 6 months we have the same debate about like, are codexes good for the game? Are printed rules on paper good for the game? You know, like, but these things are like the status quo, and I think I guess they just don't change or something. But yeah, I was playing against a knight player in the tournament, and I really liked the fact that I could look up his data sheets in the app. And it was only afterwards I was like, oh, why was I able to look up his data sheets? And I was like, oh right, yeah, because he's still on an indexed attachment. You know, we're 2 years into the edition, but he's still on an indexed attachment, so I can still look up his data sheets. So I was like, if I'm still allowed to look up his data sheets 2 years in, why don't we just come to the conclusion that we can't release codexes in a timely manner? So why not just sell, or why not just put as part of your Warhammer Plus subscription the rules into the app, right? That's what I would like to see. Rules in the app. I must admit, right, like when you talk about nice pretty photos in the codex or lore in the codex, like I don't look at that stuff at all. Like the 10th edition Blood Angels codex, I don't read the 1 page of lore about Dante, because I'm assuming it's just the same lore that was from a previous edition. Maybe I should read it, but like I really haven't. I skipped to the detachments part, so I skipped the first 80 pages and then I read the data sheets, and I really haven't read anything more beyond that. Should I have read all the lore pages in the 10th edition codex? Guilty. I mean, I'm feeling a little bit guilty admitting that I haven't, but it's just the truth, I guess. I'm gonna need to grab one of my Redemptors, because I have no idea where I'm going with this paint job, honestly. I can't remember how I painted my Redemptors. It must have been at least 2 years since I painted a Redemptor Dreadnought, so I've kind of forgotten how I paint them. There's a small amount of new lore, barely anything. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured, Antonius. So I guess that's why I didn't make it a priority to read that stuff. maybe when I was, you know, maybe when I wasn't a father with 2 kids that demand 10 hours of my day every day, I would have read that stuff. What basing is that? You mean the red color, or what we talking about here? Hello, Conrad. I'm still waiting for the next book after Darkness in the Blood. I feel like Darkness in the Blood was friggin' ages ago, man. When did Darkness in the Blood release? Someone tell me. Darkness in the Blood release date. It's gonna surprise me, I bet you. 2019? Fucking A. I thought it was about 5 years. No, 6 years. 6 years since Darkness in the Blood. Oh, no. It says August 2021. Why did it say 2019? Maybe it was announced in 2019. Publication date. I purchased it on the 6th of November 2020. Oh, so 5 years, yeah. Oh, maybe do you know what? I think the paperback came out in 21. You usually get it in hardback first, right? Luke Goblin. Do I like orcs? I like to kill orcs. Does that count? I mean, orcs are definitely not the best. And they're usually pretty easy to beat, I must admit. They're pretty one-dimensional orcs, right? I sprayed this guy with those color forged sprays I keep going on about. I don't know if you guys use them yet. Color Forge. This would have been Color Forge Sanguine Red, and then which is supposed to be like a color match for Mephiston Red, right? I don't know how well that shows how well that matches, but it is pretty darn close. The reason I buy Color Forge is the cans are bigger than Games Workshop. Games Workshop cans are like 400. These are 500. And Games Workshop cans are like 20 bucks. These are like 15. So they're like $5 cheaper, and you get 25% more. I actually did a video on this, on the Color Forge sprays. I've actually just bought 2 more new ones as well. I think I bought a black and a white. I highly recommend the Color Forge sprays. I think they're great. I've hurt my orcs' feelings. Buy some Blood Angels, dude, then you can join us. No, I'm joking. I've got a few friends that play orcs. I don't mind orcs, but yeah, I do think orcs are an army that I usually can beat. I think Blood Angels are a good counter to orcs. Maybe it's just because we melee and we tend to move a little bit faster than you, so we can kind of pick and choose the engagements. But yeah, orcs were like one of the first models I ever collected for 40k, because I started in that 2nd edition box set, which was Space Marines against orcs, or kind of Blood Angels versus orcs, really, wasn't it? Or at least that's how I painted those guys. I play against orcs 80% of the time, so that's why I feel Blood Angels are strong. Yeah, I mean, Blood Angels are almost like a check hard counter to orcs, because it's like we shoot better than them, and then we just typically move faster, so we can choose, like we can kind of always choose the engagements. Occasionally you can run into like a really nasty like orc list that's some bonkers stuff, like with all the dreadnoughts or with a Stompa or something, but like I want to say that like in the last 10 years of me playing 40k, I've probably played orcs like 20 or 30 times, and I think I've probably lost like 1 or 2 times. Like I guess maybe Blood Angels are just a good... Yeah, there's not many other armies that I've got such a good win rate against, but I think it's just because you know the orcs are going to do their wag, and if you're not caught out by that and you use the speed of the Blood Angels against them, then you're usually in a pretty strong position, I feel like. So yeah, I start with I start with those sprays, and then I like to base my models with Evil Sun Scarlet. Because I feel like that gives me a very bright red. So that's what I'm doing right now. It's a pretty easy step. It's time consuming, sure, but all my Blood Angels are, all my red Blood Angels anyway, are painted with Evil Sun Scarlet. And sometimes when you're spraying models, you don't get every angle. You can see here little places. Like, so I spray it white first. If you know, if there's any doubt why there's little bits of white in there, I'd spray it white first before I hit it with that red spray. The initial coat of white actually brightens up all the colours on top of it as well a little bit. So if mine looks a little bit more vibrant, it's because it will look a bit more vibrant because I start with the spray of white. So basically, and sometimes I'll do 2 coats as well of the Evil Sun Scarlet. So sometimes, one of the reasons probably I'm so damn slow at painting is that like I do four coats of red, or 4 coats to get my base red. Like surely I should be able to do that more efficiently, but that's just how I do it. No, orcs got nerfed really hard. They were good, and they had a couple of good detachments this edition, I feel like, but yeah, I think they fell off pretty hard. They're definitely one of the lowest win rate armies at the moment as well. So yeah, maybe you're a low win rate army, but the orcs are a super low win rate army, and then you're playing each other, so you're getting the best of both worlds. You're not seeing all the horrible armies that are chewing up the meta right now, I guess. Colorforge are not quite as accessible in the US, but they did start allowing online orders. I'm eager to try them. Yeah, I mean, my experience with Colorforge has been great, right? Like it just feels like there's no difference. In the painting video, I don't know if you guys, I guess some people saw it, some people didn't. I did a painting video about Dante. I mean, you'll find it on my channel if you search like Battle Ready Dante painting video. And at the start of that Battle Ready video, Dante is sprayed with like, I think it's called Gauntlet Gold, which is their like replacement for Retributor Armor Gold, or it's not called Retributor Armor Gold, is it? It's just called Retributor Armor. So what is it? Sorry, Gauntlet Gold is the Colorforge replacement for Retributor Armor, and a few people were like, "Oh my god, what gold did you use?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's the Colorforge Gold, and it gives such a good coverage, such a consistent color, such a vibrant gold. Like I think I genuinely prefer it to Retributor Armor now, and it's the gold sprays from Games Workshop here in the UK are getting expensive, right? Like I think you're talking like $22 now for a can of gold spray, which is like, I mean, if you convert that into US dollars, that's probably like $30+ for 1 can of gold spray now, which to me feels expensive, right? Like I feel like it used to be $10. Don't fall in love with the Brutalis, as you'll need to make the second one. I really don't want to make the second one because this one took me like 5 hours to put together. So I'm hoping that I don't fall in love with it, Alex. I get you. But yeah, the gold spray is very expensive now from Games Workshop. I was shocked last time I bought it. I was like, I think that might have been the like, you know, like that might have been the point where I was like, right, I am done buying spray paints from Games Workshop at this price. Like that is just too expensive. We pay $30 for gold in the US. Yeah, I mean, like that's just getting too expensive for me, dude. I'm like, many years ago now, like let's say a decade ago, I used to go to Starbucks like twice a day, and I just sort of one day in my head was like, hold on a minute, I pay, you know, like $10 a day to go to Starbucks to get coffee, when a jar of coffee costs like $2, and that will make me coffee for a month. I'm like, right, I just don't go to Starbucks anymore. Like I haven't gone to Starbucks for like, honestly, like 10 years at this point. Maybe longer actually, but yeah, probably at least 10 years, because I feel like I like Starbucks. I'm just not willing to pay $10 a day for coffee when coffee can be 20 pence per day or 20 cents per day, right? So you got to pick and choose your battles in life, I guess. And when I feel like something just becomes too, like, I just cut it off. I'm just like, yeah, I like Starbucks, but sorry, I'm not willing to pay that much money for a cup of coffee. Yeah. I mean, it's not like I'll never get Starbucks if we're out somewhere for the day, like, you know, in a town that I don't live in, and I need a cup of coffee and there's nowhere to get coffee. Don't get me wrong, like, I would go to Starbucks, but as like an everyday expense, no, I just wouldn't do it. So like, if I need a can of gold spray, because I buy like 5 different sprays, right? I buy white, black, gold, red, and then varnish. And like, I always have those 5 cans, and they're always at different levels of fullness, I suppose, whenever I'm spraying. And whenever one empties, I just buy another can, right? So I always, like, I have a drawer that has a can of each of those 5 colors in there, and I always replenish that drawer, right? So like, it is a regular expense for me. Because I probably have like at least a couple of thousand points of Space Marines on sprues that are not built, right? So like, I need to have those sprays, so if like I'm like, oh, I need to build this model, I need to spray it, I don't want to be like, oh, I can't spray it because I don't have those sprays. So when you start charging, I think, like I said, like almost $30 for a can of spray, I'm like, right, I gotta find myself cheaper sprays, because this is crazy. So yeah, if you've never used Colourforge sprays, I would advise you try them. If you can get them, try them. Because I think once you've tried them, you really won't go back to Games Workshop unless... Well, I just don't think you'll go back. I think you'll just save the money. Maybe if I keep promoting them enough, they'll eventually make a Blood Angels Commander spray for me, but I don't know. I'm not holding my breath. I'm not overly worried about it. Airbrushing makes them a lot cheaper as well. I don't really have a good place to airbrush. I assume most people like airbrush in a garage or something like that, or right? Do you all use Trade Troll? No, I don't know what that is. JJ says, hey, I've been watching your stuff for a month now. I wanted to say thank you for helping me to learn my Blood Angels army a little better. Just a little, JJ. Ugh. Man, thought it would have helped you a lot. Way to bash my ego. I'm messing with you. Thanks for hanging out, JJ. I appreciate the positive comment, I really do. That's kind of my MO, my mission. MO? Why did he say MOs? I thought it was like mission statement. Mission order, mission statement. Yeah, that's kind of my MO, is just to make Blood Angels a little bit more accessible and a little bit easier for people. I was going to say, I assume you have subscribed, but if you haven't subscribed, I would appreciate it if you would. I have an airbrush in my utility room. Yeah, see, I kind of wanted to get it set up in my utility room, but this last year I've been converting my utility room into a gym. And as I've been getting older, I've been relentless with going to the gym. Like, you know how, like, I said before, like on the channel, like to not let motivation decide if you're gonna paint. You know, like if you let motivation, like if I let motivation control me, I might, like on a Saturday night, if I'm tired, I might just be like, I'm not motivated tonight, I'm just not gonna paint. But like, I just try and take motivation out of the equation of things, so I always get shit done. So this last year, we converted my utility room into a gym. And I've been trying to do that same thing, where like I don't let motivation determine whether or not I go to the gym, right? And it's been helping so much. Like I've been in the gym so many times this year. JJ says, honestly, it's been a lot. I think I lost my first 10 games. Do you know what, JJ? That's kind of part of the reason that I think I started the channel as well, is like, see, when I was just starting out with Blood Angels, I lost so many times. Like, any hopes for the data slate, Carl? Yeah, I hope we don't get another thing that says Blood Angels, no changes. I don't know what to expect, Carl. What are you hoping for? I mean, I would just like to have a few of our codex units be pretty good options. Because I think there's far too many units in our codex that get zero play or just are not attractive, or yeah. I feel like we need more than just a couple of points dropped. Like, you know, like if we get like Jump Death Company down 5 points, Angry Guard down 5 points, and that's it, I'm gonna be massively disappointed. Yeah. But I think there is a chance that will be what we get. Seriously, do you guys use Troll Trader? No, it's a website that sells things, or what is it? Hey, Luke Goblin, thank you for subscribing. I do appreciate it. We've recruited the Orc to the Blood Angels. We should feel good. Now you have to paint your next squad of Orcs red. Because if you don't, we'll tell all your Orc players you're a subscriber to the Blood Angels. No, I'm messing. Oh man, base coating these Redemptor Dreadnoughts takes a while, doesn't it? That's why I've got 2 half-finished Ballistus Dreadnoughts. I've played them to a bunch of tournaments. I really need to finish them, but yeah. Time, man. Sang Priest down 20 points and attachable to Blade Guard. Yes. Alright, Kevin, that is the wish list. That starts the wish list off. The Sangry Priest needs to attach to something useful. Yes, correct. Kevin Wynn. Yeah, I mean, I've been saying that since like day one, that we want the Sangry Priest to attach to Blade Guard. I think that would be super cool. I think it would be powerful. It would get away from Bloodless Angels as well, right? Because you would have to take Blood Angels units like the Sangry Priest. So you're not getting your double oath, or you're not getting +1 to wound from oath. So it's a good way to get people to bring Blade Guard in the Blood Angels attachment. It's literally perfect. The priest is too expensive. I think the captain is generally seen as better in most situations, and he's like, what, a bunch of points less? 20 points less, something like that. The priest still priced like he's wearing a jump pack, I think. What you guys don't like attaching your Sangari priest to? Can he even attach to Desolation Marines? If he can, I don't see why you would. Yeah. Sure. If he can attach to Desolation Marines and not Blade Guard, it's just so stupid, man. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe he can actually attach to them. Like you're saying, like I don't know if you're trolling me or if you're being serious. He can, and that's the point. It's so stupid. Hello, Nate. Good evening. Welcome to a very random stream where we're all having a little bitch about what can and can't attach, and what we need for the new balance status slate for Blood Angels. Beyond bar, like, we know we need buffs, but, like, we're just talking about everything that we need. All bets are off right now. Stabby McStabby says, I just breathe in the paint, it's not a problem. Okay. One of my friends does that with his airbrush as well, Andrew, you know, and like he comes into work some days and he's just coughing like a crazy idiot because he's just airbrushed way too much in like an unventilated space. I'm like, I think I'm good with just painting on the paint, you know. Like I don't know if I need to make sure my lungs are coated in it. I mean, I'm good. Stabby McStabby says, I'm not going to live forever. Are you not wanting to live as long as Commander Dante, no? I mean, I'm not planning to live quote-unquote forever, but I am planning on trying to live for a while. Like vehemently, I think is the word. Like, when you believe something vehemently, it means, like, you're really passionate about it. Yeah, I want to, like, vehemently live for a long while. I smoked cigarettes for years. I mean, I still sometimes do smoke the odd cigarette if I've been drinking. So I've got to work stuff off. So I hope they look at the other detachments. I think everybody kind of hopes they look at the other detachments, Carl. I think they should have looked at them 2 data slates ago, honestly. When everybody was doing Bloodless Angels, because there's no play in those other 2 detachments, that was the time to look at those other 2 detachments. I think you're right, Carl. Does anyone have leftover masks from COVID? Yeah, probably, actually. Mobile infantry made me the man I am today. I've not seen Starship Troopers in a long time. I have not played that Helldivers game, but my understanding is Helldivers is the Starship Troopers style video game. And I heard through someone talking about it this week that apparently they're going to make a movie, and I was like, isn't that just Starship Troopers? Or am I missing something? I'm still playing God of War Ragnarok, and I've had that game for like, well, I think I got it launch week. So I've had that game for like 3 years or something. I'm almost finished it. I swear to you, I'm almost finished it. When was the last time they made a new detachment? I mean, they did the Christmas detachments. I think they gave... Do you know what? A new detachment would be cool, but I don't know what they would do. Unless they gave us the detachment with... What if they gave us a detachment with +1 to wound and +1 to charge? Like, basically, they gave us back our 9th edition detachment. Because that's what our old detachment was, right? Or did we get... Yeah, was that our old detachment? If you finish painting all your models, there's a good chance you will die. What, just because you'll be so old from painting all your models, or just from the shock of actually finishing all your pile of shame? Like, why would you die? Like, your body goes into... What is it called? Septic shock. Your body just goes like, holy shit, you finished your pile of shame, and you just die. That's it. Well, there's no danger for me, because I've told you guys many times how slow... So I'm going to be here forever, then. In the 41st millennium, one man still trying to finish his pile of shame from the 2nd millennium. His name, the BA Commander. Yeah, I mean, there is a good chance that if this game is still around in the 41st millennium, I still won't have painted everything that I own. I don't even own that much, I'm just fucking slow. You die happy if you finish your pile of shame? I mean, yeah, I guess you could die happy finishing your pile of shame. That's funny. A detachment based around chaplains, similar to librarians, could be cool. CSM Nids and Dark Angels are getting new detachments in the data slate. Yeah, I know Dark Angels were in a very poor win rate position. I thought CSM were doing okay in the meta. Maybe I'm off. Yeah, I could have sworn I thought CSM were doing okay. The Flesh Tearers detachment. That's what we're talking about. Hey Mullen, good evening. Yeah. That could be how they fix us. Give us the Flesh Tearers detachment. What is it? +1 to wound, +1 to charges. And then like a 6 strat to make a chainsword into like Seth chainsword, so you can kind of thematically play as Seth. Or maybe, sorry, not a chainsword, like an enhancement. Like an old, you know, like, I don't know. Adept doesn't start as, the enhancement's like Adept doesn't start as character only, equipped with a chainsword, give it like +2 strength, +1 AP, +2 damage or something. Right? Is that what we're talking? Well, or just give people Seth back. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could just give people Seth back as well. I was trying to... Alex says, if I ever finish my pile of shame, I'm going to die of shock. Yeah, exactly. Septic shock, I think is what it's called, when your body just gets an infection and dies randomly. That's what happens, I think, if you finish your pile of shame. The body doesn't know what's happening. There is also a Starship Troopers game. Yeah, I'm very out of the loop on video games these days, I'm afraid. I do like video games. It's just hard to find the time. I played Space Marine 2, but I didn't finish it, man. I played it like the launch week, which was a bad idea because I got to a point where it was very buggy, and it was also very difficult. And because it was buggy at a very difficult spot, I got stuck there for like 5 hours or something, and then it probably killed my momentum going through the game, and I never went back and finished it. If we ever go back, we might beat it. Yeah, I mean, I probably could go back and beat it, but yeah, I think my problem is, like, I'll get like a single evening to play video games every month or something. So sure, I can play a lot of gaming in that one evening, but then I'll never get back to it. So quite often it just means like, yeah, it's just like the amount of games that I've started that I haven't finished is just ridiculous, I feel like. I've got that Chaos Gate game as well, and I've got Bolt Gun, and I mean, I like both those games. I thought Bolt Gun was very fun. Reminded me of like the old Doom games, really enjoyed that. Chaos Gate reminded me of XCOM, thought that was really fun as well. Chaos Gate was almost too hard though. I thought the balance in it was a bit, I thought it was too difficult. And that's weird because I think XCOM is generally a pretty hard game, but I thought Chaos Gate was ridiculous hard. I played Chaos Gate twice, or sorry, I had like 2 different save games. I tried to go through it on like normal difficulty, and I think I tried to go through it on hard difficulty, and I couldn't do it. Then I tried to go through it in normal difficulty, and I couldn't do it. So I actually feel like I need to go back to Chaos Gate and do an easy difficulty. And there's part of me that thinks that if I can't beat the game on easy difficulty, I just suck. Or like, I don't feel good about myself playing a game on easy difficulty. I don't know why that game is so hard. I was also hoping for some Death Guard nerfs. Death Guard are ridiculous at the moment, dude. I saw last week they had one detachment that had 67% win rate. It's like the Champions of Contagion detachment. 67% win rate. Like, that is just bonkers. Like, was that, you know, like, how well was that tested before it got put in the codex? Like, that's a crazy win rate. Like, what was it tested against? Oh, I've got Battle Sector as well. I didn't complete that either. Yeah. No, I guess I have a real here, it's not a problem. It's like I make tactics videos every week on YouTube. That takes a lot of my time. That would be the time that I would be playing video games. I use that time to make the tactics videos, which has given me quote unquote a somewhat, because I think it is somewhat successful YouTube channel. And at a time in my life where I would have probably had to go and get a second job to support my family, I managed to support my family doing what I love, which is Warhammer 40,000, and meeting all you guys and making friends. And like just last week when I was at a tournament, some guy came up to me. His name was Shane, actually, and he talked to me for like 5 whole minutes. And he was like, "Oh, John, da 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 da," and he's talking Blood Angels, and he was like, "At this event, I'm playing Angelic Inheritors, da 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 da," and he talked and talked and talked. And then after like 5 minutes, I was like, "Right, dude, have we played? Because I am really struggling to picture in my mind where we have met before. He was like, nah, we've not met. I just watch your channel. I was like, all right, dude, what is your name? And he was like, I'm Shane. And I was like, oh, cool. All right. Nice to meet you. So if you ever see me at an event, please do lead with, like, that you just watched the channel or we've met before. Because, like, for 5 minutes, I was just standing there awkwardly thinking, like, shit, this guy knows me really well. I feel like he knows me well enough that we've played before. And I'm like, I am not remembering him at all. I'm the first to admit, I don't have the best memory. But yeah, so after like 5 minutes, I just asked him. But there was somebody else I met at that event that the same thing happened, and they were talking and they're talking and they're talking, and then I got like pulled away by somebody, and I was like, I just had this 10-minute conversation with someone, and I have no idea if I have played them before or if they just watched the channel. But yeah, so I've been very lucky in that sense that like I've got the channel, I've got the fans, and I still get to, you know, do what I love, I guess. Because it could have been just like filling up shelves in Tesco's or something. I gave you a shout out to my Blood Angels player 2 weeks ago at a tournament. Carl, I do appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's very kind of you. I like going to tournaments now that people like. I find it. I always found it easy to make friends at tournaments, but I guess now people it's even easier, right? Like it's just like everybody's pretty nice to me. And you know what? Maybe by having a channel, I haven't had any of the, like, you know how sometimes you get like problem games at tournaments. Maybe I've just been lucky. I haven't had any bad games at a tournament now for at least like the last handful of events I've been to. I can't remember the last time actually. Maybe like 2 or 3 years now since I've had a game at a tournament where I was like, oh, my opponent just made the game super awkward and I didn't enjoy that game at all. Maybe that's a benefit. Molin, that's very kind of you to say that. I'm not entirely. Yeah, I said in this week's tactics video, like I amn't immune. There was a lot of people that are like, John, you should be playing Liberator Assault Group. They're the best attachment, and I'm like, should I be playing Liberator Assault Group? I hope that they do something significant with the Codex. I hope we get like multiple new ways to play the army. That's what I'm looking for. That would be nice. I mean, I think I prefer. I find painting very rewarding when you complete models, right? Like when you have your whole army complete and everything looks good, I find that very rewarding. I think I find painting also more chill, right? Like when I actually get to the tabletop, I usually play pretty. Like I play to win, right? Like I very rarely go to a tournament where I'm just like, hey, I've got this quirky list, I'm going to a tournament, it'll be fun. Most of the time when I sign up to tournaments, I'm like, I want to win this tournament. Whether or not I ever achieve that is a completely other thing, but no, so I get both, right? Like painting is chill, I like chill. Winning tournaments feels good, or winning games at tournaments feels good, I like that too. So I don't know if I can really pick between those things. They're different, and I like that they're different because it means that, you know, like some weeks I don't want to play 40k, right? Like I think it was like last week I'd played 5 games at the weekend, and I just wanted to not play a game that week because I guess I'd spent the whole weekend playing 40k. I was like, I'm quite happy to just chill and paint this week, or I think I actually ended up going over the new Space Wolf leaks on the live stream instead, and they were out anyway, so I kind of wanted to cover that. But I think I find the painting part a lot more chill than the playing part. I take the playing part very seriously, I guess. Alright guys, I got like 10 more minutes and I'll need to go and spend a little bit of my Saturday evening with the wife, or I'll get castrated, I guess. So if you've got any pressing Blood Angels questions, now would be the time. If not, I'll be back tomorrow night for the army show. That goes out every Sunday night at 8 o'clock UK time. So like 3 PM Eastern time. So any big questions, now is the time. I was thinking about doing this cape thing purple. I was thinking about doing all these strands in front, like Ushati bone. Do you think that would be weird to have the cape a different colour from all these strandy bits? Like, I don't really know what these strandy bits are called, but do you think it would be weird to have the cape a different colour from the dangly bits? What are these dangly bits called? Hello, Gareth. Painting has these awful phases where models look like ass. Yeah, I feel like that's where I am right now. And sometimes people will join the stream when you, like, sometimes people will join my stream when my model isn't even like 10% complete. Like, this guy is not even 10% complete. And someone will be like, that doesn't look very good. I'm like, dude, I've hardly started. Chill. You know? Like, I haven't even really worked out what I'm doing with this model yet. But someone will be like, yeah, you know, you suck. It's a process, not a race. Yeah. It's like complaining at a half-built house. Yeah, but I guess people join and they don't realise. Maybe they don't realise how much work or effort ends up going into some of these models. I feel like on every single stream I have to clean out these fucking paint pot lids. Every stream they get gunked up. Nice paint job. Which one of the kids did it? Yeah, thanks. Do you know what? I have never painted a Lamenter in my life. Maybe that should be a goal. Paint pots are chaos spawn? Yeah, they really are, aren't they? And it feels like all the paint pots have a 4-up feel no pain when it comes to getting that paint gunk out of them, doesn't it? I know you can transfer it to dropper bottles. I really need to do that sometime. Did I decide on what detachment you're doing next? I think it's Stormlance, dude. I played Stormlance on Wednesday night, and like, holy crap, is it fun. It's so different as well to what I'm used to playing. And because it's so different, I feel like it might be a nice change to just do that for like... Well, the next tournament I've got is in 10 weeks. So do it for like... Well, yeah, it's like 10 weeks. It's the first week in August. Maybe it's 9 weeks now, but regardless, like, just do Stormlance for 9 weeks. If I'm doing Stormlance, it's probably going to have Gilliman with him. So do that for like 9 weeks, take it to a tournament, see how it does. I wanted to do Ironstorm, but I honestly didn't realise how good Stormlance potentially could be. That's why I think I should maybe cover more of the other detachments from time to time, because I was very impressed with Stormlance. That game made you buy a Stormraven? No way, dude. Well, I appreciate you watching the game on Wednesday. Yeah, the Stormraven was dope, huh? I couldn't believe the bolters, man. The damage output from those fucking bolters. Bolters and Blood Angels do literally nothing. You know, like I was just at a tournament. I had 9 Sangre Guard in my list. I feel like every game, those 9 Sangre Guard would have shot their Angelus bolters. I do not remember one single meaningful interaction with those Angelus bolters. And then it's like the Hurricane bolter in the Stormraven. Twice. It was twice. It was 2 times in the same game. A Strength 4 Hurricane bolter. You need to take 14 saves. Maybe one time was 13 or 12 or something. But both times it was definitely more than 10. You need to take 10 plus saves on a Toughness 10 vehicle from a Strength 4 bolter. I'm like, what? What is going on? If you want Red Marines, you could play Howling Griffins. You could also play Genesis chapter, right? They're Red Ultramarines. Like, literally, the Genesis... I think they're called... Maybe it's not Genesis... there's definitely a set of Red Ultramarines that are that have Genesis in their name. Where the bolters generally good, or is it +1 to wound make them good? So the bolters get, in that detachment, 24 shots. Rerolling all hits, +1 to wound, twin linked. So it's really the +1 to wound with the twin linked that's the big winner there, because +1 to wound and twin linked on Strength 4 suddenly becomes, even against Toughness 10, you're wounding on 5s, and you've got a crap load of rerolls. Oh, and I had a Tech Marine, so most of the time I'm hitting on 2s. So yeah, you end up with just something like 20 plus shots, wounding Toughness 10 on 5s, rerolling everything. Yeah, you know you're gonna do a lot at that point, right? Who knew +1 to wound is good, right? I mean, I knew the +1 to wound was good anyway on stuff like Redemptor Dreadnoughts. But yeah, I never even consider how good it would be on bolters. Like, it's just bonkers. Like, those bolters are actually scary. Do you think it was more that you're playing against Gene Stealers? Would that list have done anything? But here's the thing, like, so against a fucking Armiger, a Toughness 10 Armiger, they've got to take 13 saves, 14 saves on bolters. So that's chipping off, like, 4 wounds. You're chipping off 4 wounds off a... how many wounds does an Armiger have? Like, 12? Yeah? So you're taking 1/3 of its health just from the fucking Storm Bolters, dude. I mean, like, it's just bonkers. Storm Bolters don't do anything for Blood Angels. Like, literally nothing. In Blood Angels, you pick off 1 wound through an entire game with all your bolters put together. Ultramarines, one thing in one turn is picking off like 5 wounds with bolters. I've still got Citadel pots from the 90s in those hexagon pots. How in the hell have they not dried out? Because I lost my Citadel hexagon pots about a decade ago in terms of the paint drying out inside them. I don't think I had a single one that had survived. I had them all stored in my cellar. Phil Collins is the Genesis chapter master. Is he? Is that canon, Andonius? It would be the same in Ironstorm too? Yeah, I mean, it would be the same in Ironstorm, you're right. Stormraven is very good in the Stormlance detachment though, because of -1 to hit, -1 to wound, -1 damage. You know, that's a lot of stacking buffs right there. Excuse me. 100% canon, okay. Anvil Siege Force would provide +1 to wound on all guns with heavy. Yeah, do you know what? I haven't really seen Anvil Siege Force be that successful anywhere. Like, I don't think I've seen a tournament winning list of Anvil Siege Force. I think I've definitely seen a few for Stormlance. Stormlance actually has one of the highest Marine win rate percentages when I checked. It was last week I was looking at it, and Stormlance might have been the highest Marine win rate at like 48%. You know, people were saying like, oh, Stormlance will get nerfed, and I was like, but it's only 48%. They don't typically nerf stuff that's sub 50%, but who knows? You know, maybe they will. I don't know how the list would have really done against Knights. I guess because they have a bunch of Armigers with anti-fly 2-up. Maybe that would have been a problem. Here's the thing, I played Knights with my Blood Angels at the recent tournament and I got my ass kicked. I felt like not having multiple access to +1 to wound against Knights felt really, really weak when I just had Sangregard as like one of my main damage dealers. When I beat Knights in the summer for the GT win, I beat them because I had multiple Death Company units attached to chaplains, and then that meant that I didn't need to use +1 to wound on all those small units of Death Company. They just had that innately, and that was like really, really useful against Knights. But I guess we don't really do that. Doesn't want the Games Workshop want 45 to 55? Exactly, yeah. So I think if you're at 48%, like if you're at 48% and you catch nerfs, you're pretty unlucky. Because sometimes, like, Games Workshop have had a habit in recent editions of leaving 55% win rate armies or 54% win rate armies for like 3 months or 6 months at 54%. Now, you might say they're in the Goldilocks zone, but I think 54% is, if you come up against a 45% army, there's a big difference there. I think that those numbers should be normalized. Like, I think it should be 48 to 52. But I mean, I understand that would be very hard to get right and to update consistently, I guess, right? But I think that's what they should be striving for. I think 45 to 55 is just too big a disparity. Peter Gabriel was the original chapter master of Genesis chapter. Yeah, and they're Red Ultramarines, right? Right, I'm going to paint this vent. on this side of the dreadnought, and then I'm going to take off for the night. 45 to 55 would need AI to achieve. Well, do you know what? AI is getting smarter every single day, Kevin. So friggin' feed all the information into the AI and see what it comes out with. I had a survey at work, right? Not like a survey that like my day job did of customers that had like 2,000 responses on it. And like to figure out like trends or like common answers across 2,000 responses would have taken days, probably days, yeah. And even then, like, would it have been super accurate? It might have been difficult because we'd have to go through all 2,000 rows, and each customer had like 50 questions to answer, right? So like, we just paid for a premium whatever, a premium account to Chat GPT. You can just literally upload your Excel file, or in this case I think it's like a CSV file with 2,000 responses in it. You know, you download the app onto your computer, the iApp, however that works. You upload your CSV file into it and say like, this is my document with 2,000 lines of data. You know, and you can literally just ask it questions like you're a human, and it can analyze that data in seconds. It's bonkers, man. Like, if you've never used AI before, if there's a situation in your job that you can use it for like that, you wouldn't believe the power of it, right? You know? I used it on a couple of, I used AI to make a couple of images for the channel, and people really were upset about it. I'm no artist though, so I was just like, it was just a bit of fun. It was like 20,000 subscribers. I just gave it a photo of me and asked if it would make me a Blood Angel picture of me with like saying happy 20,000 subscribers. And I thought it looked great. I thought it was, you know, you can tell it's an AI image, but it was just a little bit of fun. But some people are like vehemently opposed to AI, or very opposed to AI. I guess if it starts taking people's jobs, I think that's going to be a problem, right? Like, people are going to lose their jobs because AI is powerful or smart or efficient, and then then you've got a problem. I'm just thinking about how busy I am in my day job. I'd love AI to be able to help me out, do a few more tasks. AI is very good with fixing issues with coding. I've never actually tried it in that situation, but yeah, I quite believe it, because I was actually asking it about my diet, because I'm trying to figure out, I really want to lose weight. I really struggle. I just can't lose weight, I feel like. And I was asking it about my diet and about my exercise, and it was like, oh, I can make you an exercise plan, and I can make you meal plans, and it's like, it's insane the amount of data that's available to it and what it can do. Alright, we didn't really get much done on this guy tonight. But I mean, at least he's not just monotone red anymore, right? Yeah, no, I understand that AI is going to hurt some people's jobs, and I think that is a bad thing. But I don't know what the solution beyond that would be, right? Like, it's there, it's a tool, you can use it. I've definitely used it, you know. But yeah, like I was trying to lose weight, and I made an appointment with a personal trainer, and like, I can't even remember the quote they gave me, but it was bonkers. Like, it was an online personal trainer for like 3 months. I think they were like £1,200 or something. Like I was wanting them to make me like a gym routine. Like, I was wanting them for like 1 hour. Like, what should I be doing in the gym for 1 hour every week? Or, you know, like, these are the times I work out every week. What should I be doing to make the most of it? And like they wanted like literally over £1,000 to make me whatever, a 3-month plan where I'm going to get stronger and fitter or whatever. I literally just went to ChatGPT and asked it, and it told me a bunch of stuff for free, super quick. It asked me a bunch of questions, and like, I guess that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I mean, it's probably not as good as the £1,200 personal trainer, but like, you gotta weigh those things up, right? So everybody can get phased out with AI. Even your gym coach can be phased out by AI, so... You could have also watched the Liver King documentary. Is that the guy that only eats liver? I think I've heard of this. Surely that's not healthy. The Liver King doc... You are joking, right? There's a guy that only eats liver. What is liver even high in? Like protein or something? Liver and steroids. Okay. Good to know. Okay, well, look, I'm not Major Kill. I'm trying to be healthy without taking... What is it Major Kill does? Peptides or whatever? I don't even know what a peptide is, I must admit to you guys. I'm very uninformed. But yeah, no, I don't want to be injecting anything to get healthy. I just want to get healthy by going to the gym. Would that be fair? Remember, I was going to say, this was my broken arm, right? So I broke my arm. When did I break my arm? I think it was... it was like December 23? Well, I'm 41. Do you know what? I'll see if I can find the photo. Was it 23? So I broke my arm skateboarding, which was a bit silly of me. Let me see if I can find the photo. I looked very upset when I broke it. And it was a pretty bad break as well, right? Like it was... Yeah, look, here's... How well can you see this? Will it focus? Oh. Yeah, look, there's the break. Like, it was, like, right through. November 30, 2022. So completely smashed this arm. This bone was literally 100% break. I don't know what you call that. But, so I had atropine. Is that what it's called? You know, like Neo in the Matrix? Like, I had to hold my arm like this for, like 8 to 10 weeks or something. 8 to 10 weeks? Yeah? So I had atropine, like, I was actually trying to look back to see if I had a photo. Not today. I was looking back to try and see if I had a photo, because after I'd broken it, right? Like the arm looks like, I don't know what you call it, like super skinny, you know, like all the muscle, everything has just gone, I guess, because didn't use it for 8 weeks or something like that, 8 to 10 weeks. But you can build muscle and be healthy. So I broke that when I was 39 and I am 42 in September. Was it a compound fracture? No, it was just a clean break. So just the bones literally snapped 100%. And I had to start going to physiotherapy because I was getting like a lot of shoulder pain and all that sort of stuff after I was uncomfortable afterwards. Shoulder pain, etc, etc, etc. But yeah, so you can get healthy without steroids or liver, and without a £1,200 personal trainer. You can do it yourself. You just got to be consistent in the gym and push yourself. Yeah, guys, thanks so much for hanging out. It's been fun. I'll be back 8 p.m. tomorrow. And we'll do some army list show. Yeah, that's what we'll do. And if your job isn't going to be taken away by AI, then just be thankful, because a bunch of people's jobs probably are going to be taken away by AI, and there's not too much you can do about it if your job is going to be cheaper. Yeah. Yeah, have a productive and positive weekend, yeah. You don't need to take testosterone. I think, what's that? TRT, that's testosterone, right? Yeah, you don't need to take Dude, go set a plan, go to the gym multiple times a week, every week, and just get plenty of protein. Like, I think my testosterone is higher than it's ever been at 41. And I started going to the gym because my arm was sore, right? Like, it wasn't even, it was just like, I need to rehabilitate my arm. Yeah, I really don't think you need to take testosterone or peptides or... I watched that guy, Korn. What's the guy? The Korn guy. The Berserker guy. Cornate Gains. Have you seen that guy, Cornate Gains? Cornate Gains is a YouTube channel of a guy who's... I'm pretty sure he's all natural. He's the guy that dresses up at the Berserker. The guy is a beast, right? It's just hard work. Yeah, just Cornate Gains. Check him out. He's there on YouTube. Yeah, and I don't think he takes anything. And he's a father. He must be older as well. Yeah. I think just try and be healthy. All right. Have a nice night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.